Thank you all very much for coming this evening to the Wolfville Municipal Election Forum. My name is Rachel Brickner, and I'm a professor in the Department of Politics at Acadia, and so I'm delighted to see lots of students as well as community members here tonight. Before we get started, I want to thank our sponsors and then tell you a little bit about what the format will be for this evening's festivities. So just first of all, to thank the sponsors of the event. We have the Kings County Advertiser, the Kings County Register, the Acadia University Students Union, Acadia University, the Wolfville Business Development Corporation, and the Annapolis Valley Chamber of Commerce. So thanks to all of those sponsors for bringing us together tonight. In terms of how the evening is going to go, it's going to essentially have three parts. The first part is going to be an opportunity for each of the candidates to introduce themselves. There are two mayoral candidates at either end, just to prevent any kind of rumble. To give them an opportunity to bracket the responses. Then, after the 2-minute introductions, there will be 3 questions that each candidate will have 1 minute to answer, and those three questions come from 3 of the different sponsors of the event. And then finally, we'll be taking questions from the audience that you've put in this lovely box. And what we're going to do in that instance to get through as many questions as possible, and so that not everybody's bored by hearing the same answer 9 times, I'm going to split them up so 3 people will answer a question, and then we'll move on in that way. So I'd like to start by having each candidate give a 2-minute introduction, and we'll start to my left with Keith Irving.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Keith Irving, and I'm ready to serve as your mayor. For the past 25 years of my life, I've been involved with organizations, small and large, including councils, working with teams of people to put into action the vision and goals of communities of people. In the last 6 years, my focus has been Wolfville. 4 years ago, the citizens of Wolfville elected me to town council. I was the youngest member, believe it or not, of an all-male council. So I'm genuinely delighted to see a broader representation of the community running for council in this election. What I have learned over the years, and again on Wolfville Council, is that it is very important to understand and protect the values of the community you are serving while managing the change that is around us. A mayor needs to deeply understand what is important to citizens and ensure that these values are protected as we manage the changing demographics and difficult fiscal environment facing small towns in Nova Scotia. As I meet citizens on the doorstep, I'm often asked what type of mayor I'll be. I'll answer that with an example. 2 years ago, Council established a fiscal task force to examine the financial pressures on our town and its taxpayers. As chair of the committee, I set in motion a process that involved citizens, the business community, Acadia, the provincial government, and town staff, resulting in a plan that was the blueprint for the future financial health of our community. This process reflected my style of leadership, working towards a council goal by tapping into the expertise of our citizens, business community, Acadia, and other levels of government, to produce a plan of action that will contribute to the continued vitality of our community. That's the kind of mayor I will be. As mayor, I want to reinvigorate the processes that bring citizens to the town decision-making, and I want citizens to feel welcome in our council chambers. Whatever our existing challenges or those challenges that we are not yet aware of, I assure you that I will work diligently and with an open mind with council and citizens to make good decisions that will protect what is special about Wolfville. Thank you.
Thank you. Carl?
Okay. Hello, my name is Carl Oham, and I live in Wolfville for the last 15 years. I am passionate about this community of Wolfville. I've owned and operated the Wolfville Savings Eat for 10 years, and now semi-retired and working for my son, who now is the owner of the Wolfville Savings Eat, Carl Jr. I live here with my partner Joanne. I have 3 grown children, 2 who live in Wolfville, my son Carl Jr., who I've just mentioned, and my daughter Shannon, and my other daughter Courtney, who lives in Fort McMurray. I'm also have 3 grandchildren who live here in Wolfville. I'm reoffering as a town councillor in this election. I've enjoyed my first 4 years as a councillor and being open-minded to all the issues and learned a lot in this town of Wolfville. I have a lot more to give in this town. I sit on the Wolfville Business Development Corporation as the Wolfville Town Rep. I also am a member of the Wolfville Police Advisory Board. I wear many other hats in this community. Vice President of the Wolfville and District Lions Club, Chairman of the fundraising of the committee of the Mud Creek Rotary Club, weekly involvement in our food bank, and many other organizations who need my fundraising abilities. I'm energized, and I am your community-minded counselor. Thank you.
David Mangle.
Good evening, everybody, and thank you for coming. I'm, as already was announced, David Mangle. And first of all, before I forget, I want to everybody has an opportunity to see one of these brochures, in as much as I've been already at 1,200 doorsteps. And if you happen to be sitting at a seat where there is one of these brochures and you haven't received one, please take it. However, if you have received one, please leave it, and I will be able to give it to somebody else. I've been a proud resident of Wolfville because I love Wolfville. And I've been a proud resident of Wolfville since 1982. It was a community that I chose to live in. It's a community that I find is a great place to raise a family. I have 2 adult children and a wonderful wife who's here tonight, and we've all enjoyed living here very much. It's, as Keith was saying, we have a lot of values here to uphold, and that's critical. One of the things I've often said about Wolfville that seems to attract others and keep folks like myself here for as long as I've been here is the fact that we're full of interested and interesting people. We're a community that values culture, it values interesting opportunities. The life and vibrancy is like no other town in our province. And I want to ensure that that continues. And obviously, while two terms on council, you'd think, well, hasn't he done enough? Well, I think we've started a number of very interesting initiatives. 2 I'd like to mention tonight, and hopefully you'll pay attention to see these come into fruition. And that's the Economic Action Plan, which I'll have a chance to say a little bit more about later, and also the transportation study. I think these 2 things that we've got started need to be completed. So I'm happy to reoffer, and I would be honored if you'd be so nice to vote for me come October the 20th. Thank you.
Wendy Donovan.
Thank you, Rachel. I'm Wendy Donovan. I live on Gasborough Avenue, just south of Main Street. And with my husband, we operate a recreation, culture, and library consulting firm that works in Ontario and all 4 Atlantic provinces. And we are fortunate to have an office in Railtown, which means that one of the wonderful things I get to do in my life is walk to work and back and home for lunch. And certainly that was one of the reasons 8 years ago that we decided to move ourselves and our business to Wolfville. A little bit about me. I'm one of the newcomers at this table. I've spent my entire year in and with the municipal sector, and that career has been about 30 years. The first part of that, I was a staff in a number of municipalities. I held positions of Parks and Recreation Director in a rural community, and I held the position of Manager of Policy Planning and Budgets and Administration in a very large, growing municipality. And one of the things that experience gave me was 7 or 8 years of extremely good experience and confidence in municipal fiscal management, and it's a skill that I hope to bring with me should I be elected to council. For the last 15 or 16 years, I have been a consultant to municipalities, as I mentioned, across Ontario and the 4 Atlantic provinces, and again in the area of recreation, culture, and library services. I've had an opportunity to meet with literally hundreds of councils and councillors, and I've seen some really effective ones and had an opportunity to work with them. And I've seen some that are maybe less than effective, and it's those ones who are most effective that I want to bring some of those skills with me. And lastly, people have asked why I'm running for council. I do love this community. I want to be at the table where I can participate in decision makings that will ensure that Wolfville is a sustainable and an attractive community for people to live, raise a family, and ideally bring a business to.
And now moving to my right, Dan Sparkman.
Hello, my name's Dan Sparkman. I'm council because I live here. And that sounds like a very simplistic answer, but I want this to be the kind of town I can live in. Like many young people, and if you notice, look around, I'm considerably younger than everyone else running. I have the experience of growing up in the Maritimes and growing up in Wolfville and Gasbro, and having to move away from home. I came home 4 years ago and I decided this is where I wanted to make my home, this is where I want to live. So my goal is going to be to turn Wolfville into the kind of town I can live in and young people can live in. About me, I've been in town for the last 4 years. Last year I bought a house with my partner Amanda, so I'm a homeowner, I'm making my roots here. I managed a small business in town for about a year, a little more. That was the coffee shop, so I know a lot of people in town. I'm active in the community, quite active actually. I started a small board game group, which we're just getting on the go for this fall. I put on I'm a music promoter. The Owl Little Theater is a wonderful resource, and anybody can rent that out and put in any show they want to. And this spring, Amanda and I put on The Chimney Swifts, which was quite a successful show, and that was an enjoyable and learning experience. If you ever want to find some troubles and some excitement, try putting on a music concert. I've been in town for quite some time. Like I say, I've only lived here right in town for the last 4 years. Before that, I had spent time in town. But I'm from here. I grew up in the Gasbro Valley, and I've spent most of my life living here, and I want to keep living here. So, thank you.
Mercedes Bryan.
Okay, 2 minutes. Hello, everybody. I appreciate your interest in the running of our town and the wise use of your tax dollars. I've loved living here in and around Wolfville since I arrived by train in 1978. After 3 days of my 10-day holiday, I knew I wanted to live here. So fast forward to today. After 4 years of helping shepherd Wolfville's development through the planning and then the community development committees, I'm ready to serve our town through Wolfville Town Council. I'm interested in the long-term sustainability of where we live. Today, Wolfville is the fastest growing municipality in Nova Scotia. The rail bedlands could be developed soon. This is a once-in-a-lifetime chance to increase tax revenue to take the burden off homeowners. Wolfville has 9% commercial, 91% residential tax revenue, while the rest of Nova Scotia has an average of 26% commercial. I will encourage needed mixed commercial and residential development downtown, not just on the rail bedlands, in a way that's sensitive to Wolfville. If on council, I will work with staff and within council to find efficiencies to make the best use of the tax revenue we have. Services we share now, like Valley Waste and planning services, could be extended to financial services, human resources, and more. There's a buzz in Halifax about Wolfville in the Valley. We're surrounded by great little wineries. Once people are here, they notice our great food and the opportunities for sightseeing and soft adventure tourism. There are now Haligonians renting apartments in Wolfville for their weekend getaways. We are so lucky. But the luck hasn't been random. Previous councils have helped make this happen. If on council, I will work to build on this success. I'd love to expand these ideas or touch on other ones I have and hope to promote through council, but there's no time. Please feel free to call me or stop me downtown to talk about my ideas and yours. Thank you. I hope I can count on your support on election day and throughout the term of council.
Thank you. Hugh Simpson.
Good evening. Thank you for coming to this meeting. I've been honored to represent you at council over the last 15 years. I've worked consistently to stand up for your concerns. There are a number of reasons why I am running for re-election. The foremost is that I care deeply for my town and its people. Secondly, good things are happening in Wolfville as a result of the work of the present council. I have the skills and the knowledge to collaborate with other members of council and the people of Wolfville to maximize these opportunities to the benefit of all of you. As Mercedes said, the town is the fastest growing town in Nova Scotia, and that generates challenges. The present council has a number of strategic plans in place, projects, processes underway that will guide the work of the new council. I believe we must proceed with the economic development plan, the downtown fiscal plan, which were completed as a response to the Fiscal Sustainability Task Force, of which I was a member. And its recommendation was to develop a thriving business community. This objective greatly assists in achieving our goal of financial sustainability for our town. Wolfville has realized real commercial growth, and there are many more projects to come. With a new mayor and council, experienced leadership, focused management, and direction will be necessary. And I consider that my work as a lawyer, Acadia grad, chair, member of 12 committees, and more, to be a valuable assistance to our new mayor and council. I support Wolfville moving ahead with its transportation study, with recreation, cycling, walking, and other benefits, and making progress rebuilding our streets and roads and infrastructure. A business-like approach must succeed at all times. There are great opportunities for us all. I wish I could touch on more of them. I have 12 items in my brochure. I ask you to consider me and vote for Hugh Simpson, October 20.
Thank you. Gary Balcom.
Thank you. Over the past 30 years, I've had the opportunity to represent this community in many opportunities.
The mic isn't on.
Thank you. How's that?
Yeah.
Over the past 30 years, I've had the opportunity to represent this community in many facets. As a young teenager, I volunteered to run a youth program at Wolfville High School. Shortly after that, I had an opportunity to work with the Wolfville Police Department as a special constable on an average of 30 hours every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Through that experience, the gentleman by the name of Harold Stewart took me under his wing and really helped me develop as a young man. And one of the greatest things that Mr. Stewart gave me was always give back to the community in which you were raised in. And I was fortunate. I was educated here, raised here, taught school for 32 years. I've now been in the university business for 9 years, so I see both the recreational and business side of the town. I also bring to experience as a past president of the Wolfville Lions Club, past president of the Teachers Union Kings Local. I served on town council in the 1970s, 1980s, and 2000. As a former chairman of finance, as a former chairman of planning, development, and land use bylaw committee, vice chairman of the Wolfville Police Commission. So I bring to the table again this time a vast degree of experience. And my greatest concern right now is for Wolfville to bring back families first. As my father used to say, parks are beautiful, but they don't pay taxes. So it's time to make some changes, meet today's challenges, and be fiscal, responsible, and above all, have council open to your suggestions and listen to your concerns. Thank you for your time.
And finally, Jeff Cantwell.
Good evening. Many people say, and I agree, that Wolfville is one of Canada's best towns. Why is that? It's not the sidewalks or the roads. It's the community. It's the rhythm. It's the pace. It's the diversity. It's the inclusiveness. You can buy roads. You can't buy community. And a community is about people. Why do people choose to live in any community? Well, there are any number of reasons. One reason people come is for the services. We have, and I believe the most important of those is the school. The local school is the heart of any community. Wolfville School is a center of learning, a place to gather, listen to music, and exercise, a place for everyone in the community. That place must be a center of excellence no less than Acadia. The second reason, and one that makes people stay or perhaps leave, is the cost to live there. Our taxes, or perhaps the feeling that we get or don't get value for these taxes. I've served on council before, and during my 9 years on council, we had no real tax increases. If your assessment went up, your tax rate went down. Simple arithmetic. And we still maintained the infrastructure. We achieved this by working together as a team toward a common goal. When we had to tighten things up, we did it together. We must set and keep a reasonable tax rate to attract young families and new business. At the same time, we must improve our infrastructure. I believe in a pay-as-you-go approach, which our council began during similar challenges, not borrowing to make up for budget shortfalls. To keep taxes in check, we have to look at sharing services with others where it's cost-effective and practical, and we have to work with the province to bring fair and equitable funding to towns. These things are achievable if we work together, and I think working together is what I can bring to the council table. I believe in leadership through example, hard work, and building consensus. If you believe in the same thing, I would appreciate the chance to show you what I can do. Thank you.
Thank you very much, everybody, for your introductions and for, importantly, sticking to the 2-minute time.